Pollination and fertilization. Why do plants need flowers? Flowers have a major role in the life of a plant. They are the reproductive structures of a plant. Reproduction in plants involves two processes that happen in the flowers. These are pollination and fertilization. Let us examine these processes now. Before going to the process of reproduction in plants, just recollect the parts of a flower so that further discussion will be easy. As you know, the stamens of a flower are the male organs. The anthers of the stamen produce a powdery material called pollen. When the anthers mature, they dehisce, exposing the pollen. The individual constituent of pollen is called pollen grain. Each pollen grain contains the male cells or male gametes. The pistil of a flower is referred to as the female part of the flower. It is made up of one or more parts called carpels. The carpels bear the ovules or undeveloped seeds. Ovules are the containers of female gamete or the egg. The first step that leads to the development of fruits and seeds is pollination. The pollination is the transference of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a flower. Now let's discuss the two types of pollination observed in plants: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination occurs when the pollen from the anther of a flower is transferred to the stigma of the same flower or another flower on the same plant. Cross-pollination is the transfer of pollen from flowers of one plant to flowers of another plant of the same species. Cross-pollination is better than self-pollination. When flowers are cross-pollinated, their seeds germinate into strong, healthy plants. Seeds from self-pollinated flowers produce weaker, less healthy plants. Do you know that nature favors cross-pollination? Plants have various adaptations to bring about cross-pollination. Let's see a few agents that bring about cross-pollination. Do you know what the fate of a pollen grain is after pollination? In spite of the various shapes of pollen grains, they all have the same basic structure. Go through the accompanying illustration carefully and understand the structure of a pollen grain. During pollination, the pollen grain starts germinating if it has fallen onto the appropriate stigma. The inner coat or intine grows out through the aperture as pollen tube carrying both the nuclei. Observe that the pollen tube grows through the style and reaches the ovule. The pollen tube enters the ovule and releases the male cells formed from the generative nucleus. One of these nuclei fuses with the egg cell and the other fuses with the secondary nucleus. This process is called fertilization. In plants, it is referred to as double fertilization, as two male nuclei take part and fuse with two female nuclei of the ovule. Here is the representation of pollination and fertilization. After the process of fertilization, the ovule develops into seed and the ovary into fruit.